Hello everyone and welcome back to the big quiz on your Friday evening. I'm Chris, and as always my trusted mascot just over my shoulder, stuffed Bailey, who doesn't generally move. Yep, there you go. So welcome back. We've quite a lot of new followers, subscribers to the Facebook page anyway, who may be watching tonight, so welcome. As always, we've got 6 rounds tonight. Couple of new ones chucked in there. So we've got years to be starting off with, TV catchphrases, the trusted what came first round that everyone likes, the general knowledge, food and drink, which is a new one, and TV and film as well. So as always, we'll do the first 3 rounds and we'll go into the answers for them first 3. Have a little breather where you can pause me and go and grab a drink, nip to loo, whatever you need to do, and then we'll come back and crack on with the final 3 rounds. So let's get straight into it. Oh, what I did want to remind you of is, you may have already seen it, but I've managed to put on a few of the bonus quizzes now. I know I mentioned one last week, but there's a couple more gone on since, so check them out on the YouTube channel, as you may have already seen. And I've even managed to pop a kids quiz on there as well, just to mix it up a little bit of something for everybody. So do check them out, and if you've not already, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notifications so that you do get notified when new material goes on, including the Friday night quiz. Because I know there's quite a few of you still not done that as yet, so that'd be good if you could. Okay, so let's move on and let's get the quiz started. So pens and papers at the ready. So here we go with round number 1, which is the years round. So it's a multiple choice round, this one, so you've got a little bit of chance of getting some points even if you're not quite sure on the answer, but we'll give it a go and see how you do. So number 1, when is Harry Potter's birthday? So we're looking for the year. So number 1, when is Harry Potter's birthday? Is it A, 2000, B, 1996, or C, 1980? So number 1, when is Harry Potter's birthday? In what year? Is it A, 2000, B, 1996, or C, 1980? Question number 2. What year was Paul McCartney born? Was it A, 1942, B, 1941, C, 1943? So question 2, what year was Paul McCartney born? A, 1942, B, 1941, or C, 1943? Question number 3. What year was the Beatles' debut studio album released in the UK? So I'll try that again. It's question 3. What year was the Beatles' debut studio album released in the UK? Was it A, 1963, B, 64, or C, 65? And question 4, what year was Walt Disney founded? So question 4, what year was the Walt Disney Company founded? Is it A, 1923, B, 1899, or C, 1964? And number 5, how many years ago were horses domesticated? So question 5, how many years ago were horses domesticated? Is it A, 500 years, B, 6,000 years, or C, 200,000 years ago? And number 6, what year was the first James Bond film released? So number 6, what year was the first James Bond film released? Was it A, 1962, B, 59, or C, 57? And number 7, when did Lewis Hamilton win his first World Championship title? So number 7, when did Lewis Hamilton win his first World Championship title? Was it A, 2009, B, 2008, or C, 2002? And question 8, when did Superman's first appear in the Action Comics? So question 8, when did Superman first appear in Action Comics? Was it A, 1954, B, 68, or C, 38? Question 9, when did the Backstreet Boys first receive a platinum record? So question 9, when did the Backstreet Boys first receive a platinum record? Was it A, 1990, B, 94, or C, 96? Number 10, final one of this round. What year did Concorde stop flying and retire? So number 10, what year did Concorde stop flying and retire? Is it A, 2003, B, 2001, or C, 2004? And that's your round 1 completed. So on we go to round number 2. Okay, so here we go with round number 2. It's a new round this week and it's the TV catchphrase round. So should be a little fun. See what you can remember. Some old schoolies in there as well. Okay, so TV catchphrase round number 2. Question 1. Which Scottish duo often said "fan dabby dozy"? So question 1. Which Scottish duo often said "fan dabby dozy"? And question 2. Who was the first to use "it's good, but it's not right" in a popular game show? So number 2. Who was the first person to use "it's good, but it's not right" in a popular game show? And number 3, name the host who would say, "let's see what you could have won." So number 3, name the host who would say, "let's see what you could have won." And number 4, name the host who would say, "good game, good game." So number 4, name the host who would say, "good game, good game." And number 5, which character says, "yeah but, no but, yeah but"? So number 5, which character says, "yeah but, no but, yeah but"? And number 6, name the duo who closed all their shows with "it's a good night from me and a good night from him." So number 6, name the duo who closed all the shows with It's a good night from me and a good night from him. And number 7, name the game show with the phrase, say what you see. Should be an easy one. So number 7, name the game show with the phrase, say what you see. And number 8, name the show that's famous for the phrase, our survey says. So number 8 is name the show that's famous for the phrase, our survey says. And number 9, name the character who would say, Booyakasha. So number 9, name the character who would say, Booyakasha. And number 10, your final question of round number 2, name the host. What's your name and where'd you come from? So name the host who was famous for saying that catchphrase. Number 10, name the host. What's your name and where'd you come from? And that's a lot for round number 2. How are we doing? So let's move on to the next round. Okay, so round number 3 now. So what came first? A round that's been in every week so far. So simple as that, what came first? Question number 1. Chop suey or potato chips? So question 1, chop suey or potato chips? And number 2, the golf tee or the safety pin? So number 2, the golf tee or a safety pin? And number 3, Christmas cards or the long distance phone call? So number 3, Christmas cards or the long distance phone call? And number 4, mobile phones or GPS? So number 4, mobile phones or GPS? And number 5, piano or the guitar? So number 5, was it the piano or the guitar? And number 6, matches or the lighter? So number 6, matches or the lighter? And number 7, toothpaste or the toothbrush? So number 7, toothpaste or the toothbrush? And number 8, Pepsi or Coca-Cola? So number 8, Pepsi or Coca-Cola? And number 9, contact lenses or the escalator. So number 9, contact lenses or the escalator. And number 10, your final one of round 3, crosswords or Sudoku, if I've said it correctly. But number 10, crosswords or Sudoku. And that's it for your round 3. That's the first 3 rounds complete. So we shall quickly go through the answers for rounds 1 to 3, and let's see how you did. You can swap papers and mark each other's. Okay, so here are your answers. Rounds 1 to 3, starting off with round 1, obviously, which was the years round, a new category for this week. And question 1 was, when is Harry Potter's birthday? So what year is Harry Potter's birthday? And the answer is C, and that's 1980. He was born 31st of July 1980. So 1980 for question 1. And question number 2, what year was Paul McCartney born? And the answer for that is A, and it was 1942. He was born 18th of June 1942. And number 3, what year was the Beatles' debut studio album released in the UK? And the answer to that is A, 1963. It was released 22nd of March 1963. And number 4, what year was Walt Disney Company founded? And that's 1923. So A again, 1923, October the 16th it was. And number 5, how many years ago were horses domesticated? And the answer is B, that's 6,000 years ago. So question 5 is B, 6,000 years ago. And number 6, what year was the first James Bond film released? And it was 1962, the 5th of October 1962, which is answer A for number 6. And number 7, when did Lewis Hamilton get his first World Championship title? And that was in 2008, so the answer is B, 2008. And number 8, when did Superman first appear in the Action Comics? And that is C, 1938. It was April the 18th, 1938. And number 9, when did the Backstreet Boys first receive a platinum record? And that is C, 1996. So C for question 9. And number 10, what year did the Concorde stop flying and retire? And it is 2003, so the answer is A, 2003. So them are your answers for round number 1. So on to round number 2, which was the catchphrase round. And question 1, which Scottish duo often said "Fan Dabby Dozy"? Of course, it was the Crankies. So the Crankies for question 1. And number 2, who was the first to use "It's good, but it's not right" in a popular game show? And of course, that was the Roy Walker. Roy Walker, number 2. And number 3, name the host who would say, "Let's see what you could have won." And it's good old Jim Bowen on there. Bullseye. And number 4, name the host who used to say, "Good game, good game." I'm sure we all got that one, but of course it is Bruce Forsyth. That was number 4. And number 5, which character says "yeah but, no but, yeah but"? And that's Vicky Pollard. And number 6, name the duo who used to close all their TV shows with "A good night from me" and "A good night from him." And that's the two Ronnies. If you put the full name, still get the points. Number 7, name the game show with the phrase "say what you see." Of course, Catchphrase. catchphrase for number 7. And number 8, name the show famous for the phrase "a survey says," and that is Family Fortunes. And number 9, name the character who would say "Booyakasha," and that's Ali G. And number 10, name the host. What's your name and where do you come from? And of course that is Cilla Black on Blind Date. An old classic Saturday night telly, I think it was. And that's your answers for round number 2. And of course the final round is round number 3, what came first. So number 1 was chop suey or potato chips. And the answer is potato chips. They came out in 1865 with chop suey in 1896. So quite a bit later. So the answer is potato chips, question 1. And number 2, was it the golf tee or the safety pin? And the answer is the safety pin, 1849. And again, sometime later, the golf tee came out in 1899. So the answer for number 2 is the safety pin. And number 3, was it Christmas cards or the long distance phone call? And the answer is Christmas cards, which was 1875. The long distance call, 1884. That's the answer for number 3, Christmas cards. And number 4, mobile phones or the GPS. And the answer is mobile phones in 1973. GPS came a few years later in 1978. And number 5, did the piano or the guitar come first? And the answer is the guitar. Came out in the 16th century, with the piano in the 17th century. Quite a bit later again. And number 6, matches or the lighter? And the answer is the lighter, produced in 1823. And matches followed closely behind in 1826. And number 7, toothpaste or the toothbrush? And it was toothpaste. Toothpaste came out first. Used to use fingers. And number 8, Pepsi or Coca-Cola? And the answer is Coca-Cola, been around forever. 1886, Coca-Cola. And Pepsi came out 1893. And number 9, contact lenses or the escalator? And the answer is contact lenses, which came out in 1887. The escalator in 1891. Apparently contact lenses were all glass when they first came out. Can't have been comfortable. And the last one, answers for round 3, crosswords or Sudoku? And the answer is crosswords. Apparently 1913, the first crossword was produced. And Sudoku was at 1979, so quite a bit later on. And yeah, they're all your answers for rounds 1 to 3, so that's the first half completed. So how are you doing so far? Let me know in the comments if you get a chance. I'll have a read through. And we shall crack on with rounds 4, 5 and 6. If you need a little break, just give me a pause, nip off, come back, and then we shall carry on with round 4. Okay, so round number 4 then is the general knowledge round. Let's start off the second half with this. And question 1. What is the only snake in the world which builds a nest for its eggs? So question 1. What is the only snake in the world that builds a nest for its eggs? And question 2. The martial art of Kung Fu originates from which country? It's question number 2. The martial art of Kung Fu originates from which country? And number 3, what capital city is home to Dolce & Gabbana, Prada and Versace? So number 3, what capital city is home to Dolce & Gabbana, D&G, Prada and Versace? And number 4, complete the following song text. So what comes next? New York, London, Munich, everybody loves. So number 4, just what comes next after these lyrics. I said it a little bit wrong at the end of that one actually. I'll try again. New York, London, Paris, Munich, everybody talks about, and what is it? And number 5, which film based on a book by Stephen King features Morgan Freeman? So number 5 after the film. Which film based on a book by Stephen King features Morgan Freeman? And number 6, a bit of a geography question. The equator passes through which 3 countries in South America? So question 6, the equator passes through which 3 countries in South America? Kind of a point for each. And number 7, in the Weather Girls song, what time does it start raining men? So question number 7, in the Weather Girls song, what time does it start raining men? And number 8, based on a number of platforms, what is the largest railway station in the world? So question 8, based on the number of platforms, which is the largest railway station in the world? And number 9, where is the smallest muscle in the human body located? So number 9, where is the smallest muscle in the human body located? And number 10, the final one of round 4, in which year did Coca-Cola first become cocaine free? So question number 10, in which year did Coca-Cola first become cocaine free? And that's it, your round 4 completed. So let's move on to the next round, round number 5. So here we go with round number 5. It's the food and drink round, so it's a new category for this week. Should be a little bit more fun anyway, test your food and drink knowledge, of course. So, question number 1. Halloumi is a semi-hard, unripened brine cheese that originates from which Mediterranean country? So number 1, halloumi originates from which Mediterranean country? And number 2, the mojito is a traditional rum cocktail, but again, from which country? So number 2, the mojito is a traditional rum cocktail from which country? Number 3, peri peri and cayenne are both a type of what? So number 3, peri peri and cayenne are a type of what? And number 4, Stilton cheese is produced in which country? So, question 4, Stilton cheese is produced in which country? And number 5, should be quite easy this one. Which French pastry is made with choux dough, filled with cream and topped with chocolate? So number 5, which French pastry is made with choux dough, filled with cream and topped with chocolate? And number 6, what is the name of the meringue-based cake believed to have been created in honour of a Russian ballerina? So number 6, what is the name of the meringue-based cake believed to have been created in honour of a Russian ballerina? And number 7, which South American country is the world's largest producer of coffee? So number 7, which South American country is the world's largest producer of coffee? And number 8, which fruit is thrown at the annual food fight festival held in Bunal, if I've said it correctly, in Spain? So number 8, which fruit is thrown at the annual food festival held in Bunal in Spain? Question 9, another cocktail question. A Cuba Libre cocktail is made from what 2 main ingredients? So question 9, a Cuba Libre is a cocktail made from which 2 ingredients? And number 10, your final question of round 5, should be a 3 point for most people, to be honest. But hamburgers get the name from which European city? So number 10, hamburgers get the name from which European city? And that's your lot for round number 5. Okay, and on to the next round now, which is round number 6. And round number 6, the final round, which is your TV and film round. We've had this in the last couple of weeks, this category. So question number 1 for round 6. Robin Williams starred in Mork and Mindy. But what was Mork and Mindy a spin-off from? It's another famous show. So Robin Williams starred in the TV series Mork and Mindy. But what was Mork and Mindy a spin-off from? Another famous show. And number 2, before David Hasselhoff starred in the popular TV series Baywatch, he starred as a crime fighter in an 80s classic. What was it? So question 2, David Hasselhoff was in Baywatch. He starred as a crime fighter in an 80s classic. And what was that classic before Baywatch? And question 3, Peter Falk played a homicide detective in which long-running and iconic American TV series? So number 3, Peter Falk played a homicide detective in which long-running and very iconic American TV series? And question 4, the first 2 seasons of Thomas the Tank Engine were narrated by which Beatle? So question 4, the first 2 seasons of Thomas the Tank Engine were narrated by which Beatle? And number 5, in which city would you find the Wizard of Oz? So question 5, in which city would you find the Wizard of Oz? And number 6, this should be really easy anyway, but if you played the Friends bonus quiz it should be even easier. So what was the name of the coffee shop in the sitcom Friends? So number 6, what was the name of the coffee shop in the hit sitcom Friends? And number 7, who was the star of the popular 80s crime drama Magnum P.I.? So number 7, who was the star of the popular 80s crime drama Magnum P.I.? And number 8, Torchwood is an anagram and spin-off of what popular British sci-fi series? So number 8, Torchwood is an anagram and a spin-off of what popular British sci-fi series? And number 9, Star Trek The Next Generation originally aired in what year? So number 9, Star Trek The Next Generation originally aired in what year? And number 10, your final one of round 6. What's the name of the famous street on popular TV soap Neighbours? So number 10, what's the name of the famous street on popular TV soap Neighbours? And that's it, your round 6 completed. And we're at the end. All we need now is just to reveal the answers for rounds 4, 5 and 6 to see how you've done overall. So here we go with the answers. Okay, so the answers for round number 4 first, which was the general knowledge round. And number 1, what's the only snake in the world that builds a nest for its eggs? And the answer is the king cobra. And number 2, the martial art of kung fu originates from which country? And the answer is China. And number 3, what capital city is home to Dolce & Gabbana, Prada and Versace? And the answer is Milan in Italy, of course. So Milan for number 3. And number 4, complete the following song text. So finish it off. New York, London, Paris, Munich, everybody talks about pop music. So pop music is the answer for number 4. And number 5, which film based on a book by Stephen King featured Morgan Freeman? And it was the brilliant Shawshank Redemption. And number 6, the equator passes through which 3 countries in South America? And that's Ecuador, Brazil and Colombia. So those 3. So Ecuador, Brazil, Colombia. And give yourself a point for each. 3 in total on that one. And number 7, in the Weather Girls song, what time does it start raining men? And of course it's 10:30. So I'm sure you're all singing in your head now. So 10:30 for number 7. And number 8, based on the number of platforms, what's the largest railway station in the world? And it is of course in New York, it's Grand Central. So Grand Central for number 8. And number 9, a bit trickier. Where's the smallest muscle in the human body? And that's the ear. There's a small muscle within the human ear. It's the smallest muscle in the body. And number 10, in which year did Coca-Cola first become cocaine free? And it was 1929. So 1929 for number 10, round 4. And on to round 5, the answers. Food and drink round, a new round this week. So halloumi originates from which Mediterranean country? And the answer is Cyprus. So Cyprus for question 1. And number 2, the mojito is a traditional rum cocktail, but from which country? And it is Cuba. I wish it was there now. The answer is Cuba for number 2. And number 3, peri peri and cayenne are both types of what? And yes, they're peppers, or pepper even. You mentioned chili pepper when I did the research, but if you've got pepper, then you can have that. And number 4, Stilton cheese is produced in which country? And of course it's our own, England. And number 5, should have been an easy one, this one. The French pastry made with choux dough, filled with cream and topped with sugar. Probably has got, well, it has sugar in it, but it's got chocolate on top. And that's the eclair. So number 5 is eclair. And number 6, what's the meringue-based cake believed to have been created in honour of a Russian ballerina? And that's the pavlova. So pavlova for number 6. And number 7, which South American country is the largest producer of coffee? And that's Brazil. And number 8, what fruit's thrown at the annual Food Fight Festival held in Spain? And that's the tomato. And number 9, the Cuba Libre cocktail is made from which 2 main ingredients? And that's rum and coke. And number 10, hamburgers get the name from which European city? And of course, that is Hamburg in Germany. Bit of a giveaway a little bit. Okay, so the answers for the final round now. And that's round number 6, a TV and film round. So number 1, Robin Williams' TV series Mork and Mindy was a spin-off from what other famous show? And the answer is Happy Days. And number 2, before David Hasselhoff was in the TV hit Baywatch, he starred in a crime-fighting role in the 80s. And it was a classic, and the answer is Knight Rider, number 2. Number 3, Peter Falk played homicide detective in which long-running iconic American TV series? And that is Columbo. And number 4, the first 2 seasons of Thomas the Tank Engine were narrated by which Beatle? And that's Ringo Starr. I didn't know that either, but yeah, Ringo Starr. And number 5, in what city would you find the Wizard of Oz? And it is the Emerald City. So the Emerald City for number 5. And number 6, what was the name of the coffee shop in the sitcom Friends? And that's Central Perk. And number 7, who was the star of the popular 80s crime drama Magnum P.I.? And that's Tom Selleck. So Tom Selleck for number 7. And number 8, Torchwood is an anagram and spin-off of which popular British sci-fi series? And that's Doctor Who. And number 9, Star Trek The Next Generation originally aired in which year? And that's 1987. And number 10, your final one for round 6. What's the name of the famous street in the popular soap Neighbours? And that is Ramsay Street. So Ramsay Street for number 10 and round number 6. So how well did you do? Please leave a message in the comments with your final scores once you've tallied them up. And that's your 6 rounds for this week, this Friday night. So did you do better this week than last week? Let me know. Hope you did. A couple of new rounds in there. Hope that was okay for you as well. So yeah, that's it for tonight then. I shall leave you in peace now. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The link will be in the description for the Facebook page if you're not already following on there, just to keep updated with things. And hopefully I shall see you next week and join us next Friday again. Same time, 8 o'clock. Please let your friends know. Join in. A group challenge. So yeah, hope that went okay. I'm going to go and get myself a drink now. But thanks very much for joining me. And hope to see you next week. Thanks very much.